This video is on how to clean the Smith Wesson M&P22 Compact. To get started, you'll need a few things. For convenience, I'll leave links to everything in the comments. CLP, a cleaning rod, a bronze bore brush, a jag, cotton swabs, a cleaning rag, I like to use microfiber, and cleaning patches, or in this case, I'm using a cut-up t-shirt. Just be sure that you're using a 22 caliber bore brush and jag. And if you're not using 22 caliber cleaning patches, you want to cut up your t-shirt about the size of a dime. Make sure your gun is unloaded and always point it in the safe direction, even if you think it's unloaded. This is your magazine catch, and that's your slide stop. The gun should already be clear of any ammunition, but of course I'm going to double check. So press the magazine catch and drop the magazine. With your firing hand, hold the grip with your finger outside the trigger guard. Use your non-firing hand to grab the slide serrations and pull the slide back. As the slide's in the rearmost position, use your thumb to push the slide catch lever upward, then you can let the slide go and it'll stay back. Now rotate the takedown lever downward to the 6 o'clock position. Now grab the slide towards the rear and pull upward, and guide it forward until it clears the barrel. Okay, now remove the recoil spring guide rod assembly. That's a long phrase for just a simple part. We're just going to call it the recoil spring. Simply pull the spring out by the muzzle end and set it aside. So now your field strip. This is as far as you need to go for a basic clean. You'll have 4 parts: the frame, the slide, the recoil spring, and the magazine. Okay, add your 22 caliber bronze bore brush to your cleaning rod, and we're only going to clean the bore in one direction, from chamber end to muzzle end. It doesn't make any sense at all to push fouling out the muzzle end and pull it right back in. That's the way you would clean a high precision rifle, so why not clean your pistol the same way? It's not going to hurt anything, and it only takes a few extra seconds. Put a few drops of CLP on the bore brush and push it through from chamber end to muzzle end. After the brush goes all the way through the barrel, unscrew it, pull the cleaning rod out, put the brush back on the rod, and push it through again. Notice I'm only pushing the cleaning rod through when I'm holding the handle. The handle allows the cleaning rod and the bore brush to spin freely through the rifling. If you were only to hold it by the rod itself, not allowing it to spin freely, the bristles are just going to go right over the rifling and you won't get a good clean. I repeat this process a few times depending on how much I've been shooting. In this case, I'm just going to push it through 3 or 4 times. Now attach the jag to the cleaning rod. Put a little CLP on your cleaning patch. Use the jag and cleaning rod to push the patch through the bore from chamber end to muzzle end. After you push the first patch through, you'll see that it comes out really dirty. Just keep pushing clean patches through the bore and you'll see that they'll start to come out clean after a while. I cut it short, but I ended up running about 5 patches through to get it totally clean. And not just clean, I also want to make sure there's no excess CLP left inside the bore. You want to leave the bore dry. So once the bore was totally clean and totally dry, the last patch ended up looking just like this. Now let's clean the frame. Add CLP to your nylon brush and just start going through it. Clean all visible surfaces. Pay particular attention to the rails and anything that you see metal on metal wear, like right here and right there. I can also see obvious metal on metal wear right here at the end of the barrel where it makes contact with the slide. And yes, you also want to clean the outside of the frame and the grip area inside the trigger well, behind the trigger. And it does get especially dirty towards the muzzle end right there by the rails. So after you've scrubbed it down and got all the loose fouling and carbon off, go through it with a clean microfiber rag or clean t-shirt. Just make sure it's some sort of non-abrasive material and clean off all the excess CLP. It's going to be pretty greasy right now if you're using a liquid CLP like I'm using. The best way to get the grease off from the stippling is just wrap a rag around it and squeeze. Now that you got the excess CLP off, add a little CLP to a cotton swab and go through it in fine detail. Once again, pay particular attention to the rails. You don't want to leave the rails dry. Leave a medium coat of lube on the rails and anything that you see metal on metal wear. So just to be clear, you don't want to over lubricate anything. You're going to put a drop of lube here, here, and right here. Now let's clean the slide. Add CLP to your nylon brush and start going through it inside and out, and clean everything well, but pay particular attention to the rail channels here at the rear of the slide. Make sure you get behind the extractor. That's that little hook device you see next to the breech face area. The breech face is probably going to be the most dirty part of the slide, so you're going to have to give it a lot of attention, but there's no need to leak excess CLP down into it. Now add CLP to a cotton swab and go through it in fine detail. Then go through it in fine detail with a clean and dry cotton swab. After that, wipe off any excess CLP with your rag and you're done with the slide. Let's move on to the recoil spring. Add CLP to your nylon brush. Go through it the best you can. Clean all surfaces. Then wipe it off with your rag and you're done with that. Now let's clean the magazine. Add just a little CLP to the nylon brush because you don't need to leak excess CLP into the magazine. Make sure you clean the follower off really well as the entire surface. Now unless you've dropped it in dirt, sand, or mud or something like that, there's no need to do a complete disassembly of the magazine. Just wipe it off and clean it the best you can and you'll be good to go. If you do need to disassemble it, it's easy enough. You probably don't even need a video to do it. Just use a punch or a small screwdriver, press that little button at the bottom of the floor plate, slide the plate off, and the spring and the follower will come right out. Anyways, when you're done cleaning the mag with CLP, use a clean rag, wipe it off, and you can leave it dry. There's no need to leave the magazine lubed up. If you leave excess CLP on the magazine, it's just going to attract dirt. Okay, let's reassemble. So the recoil spring goes in this way, not that way. So reinsert the recoil spring the correct way and it should look like this. Here's what happens if you try to put it in the wrong way. If you put it in the wrong way, it's going to stick out like that. You don't want that. Okay, so let's put it back in the correct way. Grab your slide. Make sure your takedown lever is in the down position. Start pulling the slide to the rear over the barrel, keeping the recoil spring assembly in place. Once you pull the slide back as far as it will go, press the slide down onto the frame rails. Now you can move your takedown lever back to the original position and just let the recoil spring guide the slide forward. Congratulations, you're done. Now you don't want to dry fire this gun. It actually mentions that in bold red print in the owner's manual. Be sure to clean your gun every time after you shoot, and if it's been in storage for a while, or if you've been carrying it for a while, because it does pick up dirt and lint, cotton, stuff like that, just from everyday carry. Speaking of carrying, this is the holster I use when I do carry it. I don't carry it every day. I usually carry a 9mm or larger, but sometimes I just want to go really lightweight. So when I do, this is the holster I use for the M&P22 Compact. You can get one at skullcrush.com.